Hi, this is Karen, and this is a video I'm making about my journey in Jesus and how Jesus saved my life and kept me alive all these years. 2012, my mom passed away in my arms, and she died of a third heart attack, and it was something very painful to go through. To see her go off in my arms was something very upsetting to me, and I felt shattered and broken down badly at that time. Then later I moved from Goa to Bombay, and somehow I was admitted in the hospital for my own heart, and I was admitted in Cooper Hospital, Juhu. And I was a little surprised because at this age to be admitted for my heart was surprising for me, and I was in fact scared of the heart machines because my mom and dad also had passed away, both of heart attack, and I was like falling sick, and even my lungs were failing at that time. But then the very same day that I was admitted, the very same night, I requested the doctors that to let me get discharged, and I told the nurses that I don't want to stay in the hospital. I want to go home. And after some time, they allowed. And my friends came to pick me up, help me go home. And just in that day, I just got myself discharged, and I left the hospital and went home. And that's when I went searching for God. From that time, in 2 years' time, I was like searching for God everywhere. I was just thinking, like, what's happening? And why am I going through such problems? Because my dad also had passed away before, and even in 2010 I had a bike accident, but I nearly survived that. Jesus somehow was there looking after me, which I didn't really know. My journey then, after getting out of the hospital, I went searching everywhere for God. In Bombay, I went to almost all the other religions, because I really had no idea where God was. And it was like going here and there, and each place that I kept on going to, it was either here or there, all the other religions, whether the Hindus or the Muslim or even the Catholic Church I went. But everywhere, I was only getting more and more destroyed. I was only becoming more and more sick. Things were like blocked everywhere. It was all of a sudden. There was no work, there was no money. I only could manage to pay the rent where I stayed in Bombay as a PG, as a paying guest. And the girls who were there with me, they were good also. But still, I had to find my way to God. And I went to each and every place, almost like prayers of everywhere, but everywhere I was getting badly destroyed. And it reached to a point where I was literally with no money, no food, and it was like as if even my family at that point of time was not in touch with me. And it was just like a situation where everything was completely, totally blocked. So I don't blame any one of them. It's not their fault, because I was put in that kind of a situation. And That was only his. I guess Jesus was every time also looking out for me. It was very painful because there were times there was no money, there was no food, and I had no idea how I went through those. It was 2 or 3 years too, and because towards the end of the third year, that's when I came to Jesus. I, I sometimes I would be walking out on the streets of Mumbai, sometimes even picking up any kind of fruits if I found on the street also, and also once removed some little leftover from the dustbin at home where I stayed when nobody was there. My state was so bad that everything was completely and totally lost, and it was a very very painful time to go through. Like as if nothing was there. There was nobody and everywhere I went was only leading me to more and more distraction. Until the time where in 2014, towards the end of the year, I felt totally lost because I'm not a kind of a person to give up on anything. But it reached a point where I that very day I started thinking of suicide, and I thought of it's like everything is over, and it was like all areas of my life, everything was like shattered and stopped, blocked, everything. It was like as if no home, no parents, no family, no friends, and and it's not to blame anyone because it was not their fault. Again, I say it was a situation I was put through. And when I reached that suicide state, that very same day when I was thinking of ending my life, that is when I was walking on the streets, and suddenly a certain brother Leo, suddenly he was walking on the same street and he came and met me, and he had no idea that I was thinking of suicide that day, and he just suddenly told me that Brother Michael's prayer services are there. There's a prayer service, and there's a brother preaching there, and Brother Michael he was. And I didn't really know also about him. So I thought, okay, why not? Let me just try go there. And I never told Brother Leo that I was thinking of suicide. So nobody actually knew that day. Then the next day I somehow reached Brother Michael's services, and as I entered his service, as the prayers were going on, that is when I started encountering Jesus. That is when I started seeing visions of Jesus right there at the service. And it was like first time that I encountered peace in my life. It was such a sort of peace that I couldn't find anywhere, that I found in Jesus. The shattering before that was so bad that nothing actually mattered to me. But when I found that peace, and it was like as if Jesus touched me there, and oh, it was a beautiful time because first time I started knowing about Jesus, and, and then Brother Michael also prayed for me, and then afterwards when I went, I had a scar on my neck, so he prayed for that scar also. So pus used to always come out from that scar, and wherever I went, The past was not stopping anywhere. Whether the Hindus or the Muslims or even the Catholic, nowhere the past was stopping. So when I went at the his service there, and after the service, Brother Michael also prayed for me, and, and then I came home. I felt better. I came home then, and 7 days then, I was just in like Jesus. All I could think was about Jesus, and it was like as if he was so real, and I came to know that Jesus was actually real. There was only him that I actually found real. Among all the places where I went, I was only destroyed, and people all thought that I would lose my life also. They thought I would not survive. And I came to know that only Jesus was real. It was such a thing that I can't explain, that it was so real. Those 7 days, so many revelations and visions of Jesus. Jesus himself started showing to me. Everything started clearly showing to me about how Jesus was so real. And so many of the things in the world are really just not worth it. So many things of the world are just like temporary things. And it was like as if Jesus is just completely real. And he spoke to me a lot of things, and I was just crying out in tears. And I came to know the Lord himself, the real Lord, Jesus. In those 7 days, all I was doing was just saying the word Jesus, 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 whole night and day. And I had with me a Bible. I started reading that. And the past in my scar, it stopped in those 7 days completely. And I was like, wow, because nowhere else it was stopping. It not only stopped, and I also felt better. My health started coming back to normal, and I first time started feeling as if I'm alive. And from that day, just saying his name, Jesus, Jesus, brought life into me. And I was also without food up to 7 days, just on a packet of milk, and just saying Jesus, 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 whole day and night. Actually made me completely better. Just his name healed me. And from that day onwards till now, I never let go of his hand. And so many miracles took place after that. And I'm very thankful to Jesus for keeping me alive. Thank you, Jesus.